In this tutorial, we will learn how to edit a sound cue in AtomCraft. First, let's create a new cue, as we saw it in a previous video. Go in the Work Units section of the project tree. Right-click on a cue sheet and select New Object. As you can see, many types of cues are available. We will talk about this later. For now, click on the first one, Polyphonic. An empty cue appears. To rename it, right-click on it and click on Rename. Now, we need to add some audio to this cue. Select an audio file and simply drag and drop it somewhere on the timeline. We have just created a new track in your sound cue. A track in AtomCraft is similar to a track in a DAW. It is a timeline on which we can place one or more waveforms. You can add as many tracks as you want to your cue. To hear your cue, just click on the play button. Let's take a look at some important settings of the sound cue. There are 7 tabs: Cue, FX1, FX2, ASAC, Selector, Action and Sync. Click on the first one called Cue, which shows the general settings of the cue. For example, here we can see the name of the cue and rename it. If you want, you can add a comment about the cue here. You can also change the cue type and assign it to a category. Finally, you can specify how many instances of that cue can play simultaneously and its priority. We are now going to select the second tab called FX1. In this window, we can define important parameters such as pitch, volume, 3D pan and 3D positioning. Here we can change the bus sends levels for the cue as well. We will learn more about this in another tutorial. This slider is the main volume of the sound cue. If you click on the slider and move the mouse up, you can create a random range for the volume. It is displayed as a green region on the slider. This slider is the pitch parameter. The pitch can also be randomized, just like the volume. Now let's hear our volume and pitch randomized cue. Fast and easy, isn't it? Of course, you can also enter precise values for the random range by typing them. First, display the property pane by pressing on this button. Then, double-click on the value in front of Volume Random Range property. Finally, type the value and press Return. As you can see, the random range on the slider has been updated. You can also simply click on the value and move your mouse up and down like this. Now let's have a quick look to the Pan 3D section. This is a 3D panner. We can use it to pan a 2D sound cue in the stereo or the surround field. Let's listen to the result. Perfect. Once again, it was very easy. Notice that we can also randomize the angle so that the sound will play from a different location each time. Finally, let's click on the FX2 tab. This is where we can set the envelope and the filters. Each waveform region can have its own ADX2 envelope. We can easily change the attack, for example, to create a fade-in. Or the release for a fade-out. Similarly, each waveform region can have a bandpass filter and an extra biquad filter, which can be a low pass, high pass, notch, peaking, low shelf, or high shelf filter. Even better, the biquad filter parameters can be randomized. Imagine all the possibilities here. Also, see how the graphic representation of the filter response takes the random ranges into account. This concludes our little tour of the Q parameters. We will come back to examine some of them in more detail in future tutorials.